this is the chimney. Really is in quite poor condition actually. When I first looked at it, I didn't think it was that bad, but and how well you can see inside there, but it's all starting to come away here. So the inside line is coming away from the outer bit, so it's actually quite rusty. I've taken off most of the rust and the soot off of it. Taken the hardware off. You can see where the hardware was, the hand on the hook, and you can see I've just started to put some rivets in just to try and hold the inner lining and the outer lining together to make it last a bit longer. We are going to have to buy a new chimney, I think, but this one should hopefully see us through this year. But I'm going to give it a bit of TLC, give it a bit of paint, clean it up a little bit, and try and make it look like something half sensible for this year. Try and put some more rivets in just to give it a bit more stability. So I'm just going to drill some holes. That's the hole drilled. And then I've got a load of these rivets. That's just going to go in to the hole like that. And then the rivet gun. Trying to do this one-handed isn't the easiest. And then just literally squeeze it up until it goes pop. Again, one-handed, this is really quite hard work. Trying to get that squeeze on that lever. There it goes. So hopefully that's going to give it a bit more strength, make it last a bit longer. I'm just going to repeat that on this one here as well. So it's had a good clean up, got those rivets in, it's a bit more stable now, and I've given it a good clean down with some cellulose thinners, and then cleaned all the dust off and everything. So let's go for some paint. I'm just going to use a Halford Satin Black. See how this gets on. And there we go, cut coats of paint on it. It's looking better already. It's supposed to be a matte finish, but it looks quite glossy. I'm guessing it's going to matte down when it dries. And then what I might do is put a matte lacquer over the top of it just to give it a bit more protection. But looking a lot better than it already was. Next thing to look at is the handles and the hook. I'm not sure what it is. Probably is brass. Looks like it could be, or brass plated something or other. Not 100% sure. Not very good at metal, but we're going to try and give it a bit of a clean up. I'm going to use some good old auto sole metal polish, and then I'm going to try it with one of these. This is just like a wire wool type thing in a drill, and it will speed up the process hopefully. If not, I'll be using a bit of the old rag just to see what it comes up like. Haven't got a clue what finish this is going to have. It's very tarnished and quite pitted, but we'll have a look and see what comes out of it. So literally just a few minutes of polishing with the drill, and we can see that it's coming up quite nice. It's got all that tarnish. If we compare it to the other end that hasn't been done yet, it's actually coming up quite nice. Yeah, quite pleased with that. Good old auto sole. So I'm really pleased with how that's come out. That's actually looking quite nice. Nice and shiny. I'm thinking that's going to need some kind of lacquer over the top of it to try and stop it from tarnishing up again. I'll have a look into that. So for this hook, it's quite hard. I can't really get the, I'll show you, can't really get this in there in any sense and hang on to it. I've thought about screwing it down, but even then, because of the shape of this hook, you're not going to get inside there. So I've come up with an idea of using some wet and dry. This is some 1200 grit, and with a bit of polish maybe, I don't know. Let's see what we can do with that, but I'll have to do it all by hand. So that's not come out too bad. That was actually with 1000 grit. The 1200 was probably a bit too fine, so I've used a bit of 1000 grit. Now I just used it dry, and it's actually cleaned it up quite nice, or certainly nice enough for this chimney. If I was going to be trying to get it looking like new, I'd spend a bit more time and go down the grits and then end up with the polish itself, but I'm probably going to leave it as that. And then when I get the lacquer out for the chimney, I shall give these a spray up as well. Happy days. The other thing to do, of course, is the screw heads. So you can see the one on the right there is tarnished in the old one, and then you can see I'm just starting to give the other one a bit of a shine up. Just using the wet and dry paper, using it dry, just giving it a quick once over. These are quite hard to do because you can't really grip hold of them. I could make up a jig and slot it into a hole or something, but there's not many, so I'm just gonna hang on to them and just try and clean up the heads. So the black paint's had a bit of a chance to dry. Given these a good clean up, all the screws and the handle. And what I'm thinking is I'm going to put this on here and screw it in place, and then give it a coat of lacquer after that. Then everything gets lacquered at the same time, including all the screw heads. Don't know if that's going to work or not, but we'll soon find out. So, brassware back on, and paint's had a little while to dry off now, so I'm going to put onto it a matte lacquer. I'm just going to use against more Halford's rattle can stuff, just a matte lacquer. And that's just to try and stop it all from getting tarnished too much. Give it a nice matte finish rather than a gloss finish, and we'll see how this goes. And so here it is all finished up. So not bad for a quick makeover. So the brassware's actually come out quite nice. With the lacquer on it, it should last a bit longer. It's a lot more solid now. So before it was all flapping around and wasn't very strong. The inside is now a lot cleaner and easier. This was actually moving around. The inner skin was separating from the outer skin. So where I've put these rivets in here and here, that's just holding it in better now. So it's a lot better, a lot stronger, a lot cleaner, and a lot nicer to store on the boat. And hopefully we'll get some good use out of it over the winter.